Are you tired of feeling misunderstood, overwhelmed, or emotionally trapped? Why do women with so much strength still struggle in silence? What if the real enemy isn't outside, but within? In this powerful video, we'll uncover 5 hidden weaknesses every woman faces and how Stoicism can help you break free. This isn't just advice, it's a wake-up call. If you've ever asked, why do I keep giving more than I get? Or, when will I finally feel in control? This is your moment. Hit subscribe because we're about to transform pain into power. Let's begin. Your breakthrough starts now. 1. Emotional overload. This isn't just about crying easily or feeling too much. It's about carrying the emotional weight of the world in silence. Women are naturally empathetic and emotionally intelligent, qualities that make them nurturers, leaders, caregivers, and connectors. But what happens when that emotional intelligence becomes a storm we can't control? Studies show that women are twice as likely as men to suffer from anxiety and mood disorders, not because they are weak, but because they're constantly absorbing emotions from everyone around them, their children, their partners, friends, even colleagues. Many women wake up already carrying the stress of yesterday, and then, without realizing it, they take on today's chaos too. It builds up, quietly, invisibly, until one day, it explodes. Sound familiar? How many times have you smiled when your heart was breaking? How many times have you held back tears in a meeting or swallowed your rage just to keep the peace? Emotional overload is the price women often pay for being the emotional backbone of their families and society. But here's the truth no one talks about. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you are emotionally drowning, how can you save others? Stoicism is a philosophy that is linked to inner peace, and it gives great power to all those who adhere to it. Stoicism does not mean repressing emotions or becoming indifferent. Instead, it is about managing thoughts and emotions rather than letting them take over. It empowers women with the knowledge of how to differentiate between what they can manage and what they cannot, and how to protect their inner strength. Because it is. Let's wake up, call the truth. 82% of females admit that at least once a week they are emotionally exhausted. It's not okay, it's a red flag. The state of being emotionally overwhelmed is not a defect in one's character, but rather a notification that you need to take a step back. It's a sign you are living life without taking into account your personality. Is it possible to regain control? The first step is to identify triggers. These could be people, situations, or habits which sap our emotional strength. Having done so, we set limits, not walls, for ourselves. We choose emotional but not hostile detachment to ensure safety. We communicate to our minds that not everything deserves my reaction. This is the essence of Stoicism. This is the true strength. Dare to even think of allowing yourself to be criticized without giving up. Hear the bad news and not lose self-control. Comfort others without becoming weak. That kind of endurance comes from not suppressing your feelings but rather regulating and mastering them in yourself. Emotions should be the tool, not the master. And if you're thinking, but I've always been this way, let me tell you something powerful. You are not your patterns. You are the author of your next chapter. And emotional freedom is possible, but it starts with awareness. Ask yourself right now, who or what is emotionally draining me daily? Is it a relationship, your workload, your inner critic? Once you name it, you can face it. That's where power begins. And hey, if this topic is hitting home for you, or you've got a question about how to deal with emotional triggers in real life, drop it in the comments. You're not alone. Let's support each other. Take a deep breath. You've survived emotional overload before, but now you're going to rise above it with awareness, wisdom, and unstoppable inner strength. Next, we uncover something deeply personal, yet incredibly common: the constant need for validation. 2. Seeking validation. It's a quiet struggle that many women face but rarely talk about out loud. Seeking validation means depending on others to confirm your worth, your beauty, your decisions, even your pain. And while it may seem harmless at first, over time, it quietly robs you of confidence, independence, and inner peace. Why do so many women fall into this trap? Society has conditioned us from a young age to seek approval before acting, to smile even when we're hurting, and to measure our value by how others respond to us. A psychological study revealed that nearly 74% of women regularly look to others for emotional reassurance, while 58% admitted they hesitate to make decisions without someone's approval. That means more than half of the women are not fully trusting their instincts. Isn't that heartbreaking? When you're always waiting for someone to say you did the right thing or you're enough, you hand over the keys to your emotional well-being. You give away your power, and what happens if that approval never comes? You begin to doubt yourself, second-guess your choices, and worse, you lose your authentic self. You become a version of what others want to see, not who you truly are. Stoicism teaches us the opposite, that true strength comes from within. The Stoics believe that your self-worth is something you own, not something others get to decide. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Imagine how freeing it would feel to live without the constant weight of wondering what others think. No more editing your truth to fit in. No more sacrificing your dreams to make someone else comfortable. That's not selfish. That's powerful. This desire for validation shows up in subtle ways. You post something online and feel anxious until you get likes or comments. You make a big life choice but don't feel peace until someone else says it's smart. Or you bite your tongue in a relationship, job, or family moment because you're afraid of being judged. Over time, this emotional pattern doesn't just drain your energy, it begins to destroy your self-esteem. You might even forget what you want because you're so used to chasing approval. But here's the truth. You do not need to be approved to be worthy. Not every choice has to be explained. Not every feeling needs to be validated by others to be real. Your power lies in learning to say, "I'm enough," even if no one claps for me today. That's what Stoicism invites us to practice. Not cold detachment, but calm self-respect. Knowing your value without external noise. So let's flip the script. What if the next time you face a choice, you ask yourself, not "will they like this?" but "do I believe in this?" That single shift can change your entire emotional reality. Let your approval be the loudest voice in your mind. If you've ever felt trapped in this cycle of needing constant reassurance, you are not alone, but you are also not helpless. Awareness is the first step, and courage is the next. Begin slowly with small acts of self-trust. Then watch your confidence bloom from the inside out. If this resonates with you, or if you've faced moments like this, comment below. We'd love to hear your story. And if you're finding strength in these truths, please like this video and subscribe for more content that empowers the mind, body, and spirit. We're just getting started. Your journey to inner strength is only beginning. Next, we dive into a deeply important weakness that silently controls so many lives. Fear of judgment. 3. Fear of judgment. This fear can feel like a whisper in the background of every decision a woman makes, yet its impact is massive. It shapes how we speak, what we wear, what we post online, how we parent, how we love, and heartbreakingly, how we limit ourselves. According to a global study by the Dove Self-Esteem Project, more than 70% of women hold back from life opportunities because of the fear of judgment about their appearance or behavior. Just think about that. 7 out of 10 women are dimming their light because of what others might think. From a young age, women are often taught to be good, polite, or agreeable. While there's nothing wrong with kindness or grace, these values, when tied to external approval, become chains. The need to be accepted by family, peers, society, even strangers, can make women choose silence over truth, burnout over rest, and perfectionism over peace. It's a high price to pay for something as fleeting and uncontrollable as public opinion. This fear operates on both loud and quiet levels. Loudly, it looks like avoiding leadership roles, not voicing opinions in meetings, or declining opportunities. Quietly, it shows up in endless self-doubt, comparing yourself to others, obsessing over small mistakes, or overthinking every social interaction. Have you ever caught yourself replaying a conversation in your head, wondering if you came off as rude, awkward, or too much? You're not alone. Psychology Today reports that women are nearly twice as likely as men to suffer from social anxiety, largely due to these internalized pressures. 4. Overthinking habits. Overthinking is more than just worrying. It's the act of replaying past mistakes, fearing future outcomes, and constantly second-guessing your choices. Studies have shown that nearly 73% of women admit to overthinking regularly compared to just 52% of men. But why does it happen so often? For many women, it stems from high empathy, emotional sensitivity, and societal pressure to get everything right. This means decisions, whether small, like choosing an outfit, or big, like ending a relationship, can become emotionally draining. The mind races, scenarios play over and over, and peace feels impossible. Let's take an example. You text someone, and they don't reply for hours. Your mind begins to spiral. Did I say something wrong? Are they mad? Did they lose interest? Should I text again? All of this mental chaos just because of silence. Now imagine how much energy is consumed daily by these thought loops. That's the true cost of overthinking. It drains your emotional power and leaves little room for clarity. Here's a striking truth. Overthinkers are more likely to develop anxiety and depression. According to a Harvard study, 57% of women who identify as chronic overthinkers also showed symptoms of mild to severe anxiety. That's not a coincidence. Our thoughts shape our emotional state, and when those thoughts are negative, repetitive, and unproductive, our confidence and mental health suffer. Stoicism offers a radical yet peaceful solution. Stoic philosophy teaches us that we must distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. Most of our overthinking is tied to things beyond our control, people's reactions, the future, and the past. But once we realize we can't control those things, we start to let go. That's powerful. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. One powerful Stoic technique is journaling your thoughts, especially the anxious or irrational ones. When written down, overthought fears often look much smaller than they felt in your head. You realize that most of your mental energy was spent building stories that don't even exist. Another key Stoic tool is the concept of the view from above, mentally zooming out from your situation and seeing it as part of a larger picture. That text that wasn't answered? It's just one small moment in a big life. That mistake you made 2 weeks ago? A tiny dot in your timeline. This mental shift gives you perspective and helps silence the noise of overthinking. If overthinking has made you feel emotionally exhausted, always unsure, or like you're not fully living in the present, then you are not alone. So many strong women face this silent storm every day. But remember, the storm is inside your mind, and you hold the key to calm it. Have you ever caught yourself spiraling in thoughts that led nowhere? If this feels familiar, or if you found your way of breaking this pattern, drop a comment below. Let's talk about it. And if you found this insight powerful, helpful, or even a little bit healing, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This journey of reclaiming emotional strength and mastering inner peace is just beginning. Stay with us because up next we'll be diving into the final and perhaps most overlooked female weakness. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Next, we uncover a deeply important weakness that quietly holds many women back: the lack of boundaries. 5. Lack of boundaries. This isn't just about saying no to someone. It's about reclaiming your energy, your time, and your identity. Far too often, women are conditioned, sometimes from a very young age, to be accommodating, to people please, to put others first even when it comes at the cost of their own well-being. But what happens when you're constantly giving and rarely receiving? Emotional burnout, resentment, self-doubt. Studies show that nearly 62% of women struggle with setting healthy emotional or relational boundaries, especially in their personal lives. Whether it's saying yes to things they don't want to do, tolerating emotional manipulation, or constantly feeling guilty for prioritizing themselves, the result is the same: exhaustion and disconnection from their true self. You may feel like you're doing the right thing, but at what cost? Let's ask the real question. Why do so many women feel unsafe setting boundaries? It's because we've been taught that boundaries make us selfish, cold, or unloving. But that's a lie. Stoic philosophy teaches us that strength lies in self-mastery, and part of that mastery means knowing where you end and someone else begins. When you lack boundaries, you give others control over your emotional state. You allow their moods, opinions, and actions to determine your peace. Is that really the life you want? Let's make this even clearer with a scenario. Imagine you're always available. People call you at any hour, ask you for favors, unload their problems on you because they know you'll say yes. You feel drained, overwhelmed, and even resentful, but you smile through it. You don't want to cause drama. You tell yourself, this is just who I am. But here's the truth. You're not being kind. You're being controlled. And that's not peace. It's emotional slavery. A shocking 71% of working women report feeling guilty when they assert personal boundaries at work, fearing it might make them seem difficult or uncooperative. This isn't just a personal issue, it's a cultural one. When women don't defend their time or space, it silently teaches others that it's okay to disregard them. But here's where Stoicism comes in with power. A Stoic woman understands that her peace is her responsibility. She doesn't need to be cruel, but she must be clear. Clarity is kindness. Boundaries don't mean shutting people out. They mean protecting your energy so you can show up fully, wisely, and with intention. You can still love deeply and say, I can't take that call right now. You can still be supportive and say, I'm not available tonight. You can be nurturing and still say, I won't allow disrespect. Every time you set a boundary, you reinforce your worth, not just to others, but to yourself. So ask yourself now, how often do you say yes when you mean no? How often do you shrink just to make someone else feel comfortable? If these questions hit home, maybe it's time to pause and reclaim your power. Setting boundaries is not betrayal, it's self-respect. And if you've ever felt unsure about how to start setting healthy limits or how to deal with the guilt that follows, drop your question in the comments below. Each of the 5 weaknesses, emotional overload, seeking validation, fear of judgment, overthinking habits, and lack of boundaries, silently chips away at a woman's inner strength. But through awareness and Stoic wisdom, each can be transformed into power. You are not meant to live in emotional chaos or constant doubt. You are meant to rise with clarity, purpose, and peace. Mastering these areas isn't just self-help, it's self-liberation. You deserve a life led by your inner strength, not outer noise. If this video touched something inside you, like subscribe and share it forward. You're stronger than you think. Thanks for watching.